Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Jump to navigation, jump to search. Prince of Thieves redirects here. For other uses, see Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, disambiguation, and Prince of Thieves, disambiguation. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A bowman, ready to release a fiery arrow. Below two figures, beside a tree, silhouetted against a lake background. Theatrical release poster. Directed by Kevin Reynolds. Screenplay by Pendentium. John Watson. Story by Pendentium. Produced by Pendentium. Richard Barton Lewis. John Watson. Starring Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater, Alan Rickman, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Cinematography Douglas Milsom. Edited by Peter Boyle. Music by Michael Kamen. Production Company Morgan Creek Productions 1. Distributed by Warner Brothers. Release date June 14, 1991, United States. June 19, 1991, United Kingdom. Running time 143 minutes. 2. Country United States. Language English. Budget $48 million. 3. Box office $390.5 million. 4. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a 1991 American action-adventure film based on the English folk tale of Robin Hood that originated in the 12th century. It was directed by Kevin Reynolds and stars Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, Morgan Freeman as Ozime, Christian Slater as Will Scarlet, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio as Marian, and Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. The screenplay was written by Pendentium and John Watson. The film received mixed reviews from critics, who praised Freeman's and Rickman's performances and the music, but criticized Costner's performance, the screenplay, and the overall execution. It was a box office success, grossing more than $390 million worldwide, making it the second highest grossing film of 1991. Rickman received the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for his performance as George, Sheriff of Nottingham. The theme song, Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Song, and it won the Grammy Award for Best Song Written for Visual Media. 5. Contents. 1 Plot. 2 Cast. 3 Production. 3.1 Development. 3.2 Filming. 3.3 Post-Production. 3.4 Extended Cut. 4 Music. 5 Release. 5.1 Classification. 5.2 Home Media. 6 Reception. 6.1 Box Office. 6.2 Critical Response. 7 Other Media. 8 See Also. 9 References. 10 External links. Plot. In 1194, at the end of the Third Crusade, Richard the Lionheart, King of England, is visiting France. This leaves the cruel Sheriff of Nottingham, aided by his cousin Guy of Gisborne, the evil witch Mortia, and the corrupt Bishop of Hereford, to rule the land. The Lord of Locksley Castle is killed by the sheriff's men for remaining loyal to King Richard and refusing to join their gang. His lost son, Robin of Locksley, had followed the king's crusade and spent 5 years in an Ubid prison in Jerusalem. Robin and his comrade, Peter du Bois, break out of prison, saving the life of a Moor named Ozime. Mortally wounded, Peter makes Robin swear to protect his sister, Marian, and distracts the pursuers so Robin can escape. Robin returns to England with Ozime, who has vowed to accompany him until his life debt is repaid. After a run-in with Gisborne, Robin goes home and finds his father's rotted corpse on display in the ruined castle. Duncan, an old family retainer blinded by Gisborne, tells him how his father was falsely accused of devil worship. The sheriff consults Mortia, who foresees King Richard's return and panics that Robin and Ozime will be our deaths. Robin tells Marian of Peter's death and his promise, but Marian sees little need for his protection and is determined to stay and look after the people on her domain. They flee the sheriff's forces to hide in Sherwood Forest, and encounter an outlaw band also in hiding. Their leader Little John challenges Robin to a duel which Robin wins after some difficulty. Will Scarlet, one of the bandits, holds a grudge against Robin and protests when Robin assumes command of the outlaws. Robin shapes the group into a formidable force against Nottingham. They rob rich folk passing through the forest and distribute the stolen wealth and food among the poor. Friar Tuck joins them once he understands their cause. Marian offers Robin any aid she can, and they begin to fall in love. Robin's successes infuriate the sheriff, who worsens his abuse of the public, but which increases their support for Robin. The sheriff kills Gisborne for failing to stop the outlaws, and hires vicious mercenary Celtic warriors. The bishop betrays Marian after she gives him a message warning King Richard of Nottingham's plots, and she is taken prisoner. Duncan rides to Sherwood, but is followed. The sheriff burns the outlaws' hideout and captures many. Robin is presumed dead. To consolidate his power and claim the throne, the sheriff proposes to Marian, who is Richard's cousin, claiming that if she accepts, he will spare the lives of the woodsmen and their families. Marian reluctantly agrees, but the captured bandits are to be hanged anyway as part of the wedding celebration. Will bargains with the sheriff that he will find out if Robin is alive and kill him. Will informs Robin, Ozim, John, and a few other survivors of the sheriff's plans, but does not trust Robin. Will reveals his animosity toward Robin is because he is Robin's half-brother. After Robin's mother died, his father had taken comfort with Will's mother, a peasant woman. Robin's anger over what he saw as a betrayal of his mother's memory caused his father to leave Will's mother, leaving Will fatherless. Robin is overjoyed to learn that he has a brother, and they reconcile. On the wedding day, Robin and his men infiltrate Nottingham Castle and free the prisoners. Ozim inspires the Nottingham peasants to revolt, forcing the sheriff to retreat with Marian into his keep. The bishop performs the marriage, and the sheriff is about to consummate it when Robin bursts in and kills him in a fierce fight. Ozim kills Mortia in defense of Robin, fulfilling his life debt. Friar Tuck finds the bishop fleeing with bags of gold, and burdens him with additional treasure before defenestrating him. Robin and Marian profess their love for each other. Their wedding in Sherwood is paused by the return of King Richard, who gives the bride away and thanks Robin for saving his throne. Cast: Kevin Costner as Robin of Locksley 6. Morgan Freeman as Ozzy and Bashir al-Bakir. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio as Lady Marian. Christian Slater as Will Scarlet. Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham 7. Geraldine McEwen as Mortia. Michael McShane as Friar Tuck. Brian Blessed as Lord Locksley. Michael Wincott as Guy of Gisborne. Nick Brimble as Little John. Harold Innocent as the Bishop of Hereford. Walter Sparrow as Duncan. Daniel Newman as Wolf. Daniel Peacock as Bull. Jack Wilde as Much. Sue Druitt as Fanny. Liam Halligan as Peter Du Bois. Michael Goldie as Kenneth. Susanna Corbett as Lady in Coach. Sean Connery as King Richard VIII, uncredited. Production: Sycamore Gap at a section of Hadrian's Wall between two crests just east of Mile Castle 39, locally known as the Robin Hood Tree. Development: In August 1989, British writer-producer Penn Densham broke with the traditional account of Robin Hood as a devil-may-care adventurer, best embodied by Errol Flynn in The Adventures of Robin Hood in 1938. He instead reimagined Robin as a rich kid transformed into a socially conscious rebel by imprisonment in Jerusalem during the Crusades. He wrote a 92-page outline, which was then rewritten as a screenplay by his producing partner, John Watson. On February 14, 1990, Morgan Creek, the small production company of Young Guns, 1988, and Major League, 1989, saw gold on the page and immediately funded the film. Watson scouted filming locations in the United Kingdom, setting September 3 as the filming deadline in aggressive competition against other potential Robin Hood remakes from 20th Century Fox, Morgan Creek's former distribution partner, and TriStar Pictures. 9. Kevin Reynolds had directed Kevin Costner extensively in the past, including the challenging buffalo hunt scene of Dances with Wolves. Reynolds said, "I'd done 2 pictures that hadn't made a dime, so I kind of knew the studio wanted me for Robin Hood because of my connections with Kevin." Indeed, Costner had already rejected the script until hearing that Reynolds was directing. "I felt Kevin was such a good filmmaker I would do it." 9. Reynolds said, "What I did not want to do was Indiana Jones. That has been done already." Costner wanted an accent, but Reynolds thought it would distract audiences, and their indecision resulted in a drastically uneven delivery between each scene. U reported, even before it was finished, Costner was the subject of embarrassing rumors that his performance was too laid back and his accent more LA than UK. 9. For the role of King Richard, comedian John Cleese was proposed, but Sean Connery was selected at the passionate behest of Costner and Densham. Fearing that the sudden cameo of a notorious comedic icon would destroy the drama, Densham recalls, "I so wanted to not have the John Cleese that I said, 'Would you give me Sean Connery?' We can't give him a credit because you can't have the audience waiting for the whole movie to see him, but he only has to work 1 day." His requested $1 million fee was negotiated down to $250,000 and paid to a hospital in Connery's native Scotland as charitable compromise for making film history with the already over-budget project. 10-11-8. In 2015, Alan Rickman admitted he had secretly asked his scriptwriter friends Ruby Wax and Peter Barnes to punch up the script. "Will you have a look at this script because it's terrible, and I need some good lines." Reynolds added their lines. 12. Filming. Costner's explosive career gave him only a few days between the long-term epic projects of Dances with Wolves, Robin Hood, and JFK. This project's time frame was compressed by the cold seasons in England and by competition with other possible Robin Hood films, giving Reynolds only 10 weeks for pre-production and little time for planning, rehearsal, or revision. Costner said, "It's very dangerous to be working so fast. We are relying on the weather, and every time the weather turns against us we could get behind. When that happens there is always the feeling that certain people want to do something about it to shorten the filming time. That is not always the cure." Reynolds said, "Are things going as planned? Ha. You always start with a picture in your mind, and it is a compromise all the way from there. We have been struggling from day one. We are trying to finish by Christmas, and the days are getting shorter. It's horrible." On the first day of filming, the suddenly changing weather caused jet traffic to be diverted from London's Heathrow Airport 10 miles away, and roar over the filming location at the Burnham Beaches. 9. Principal exteriors were shot on location in the United Kingdom. A second unit filmed the medieval walls and towers of the site de Carcassonne in the town of Carcassonne in Aude, France, for the portrayal of Nottingham and its castle. Locksley Castle was Wardour Castle in Wiltshire, restored in an early shot using a matte painting. Marion's Manor was filmed at Hun Priory in Northumberland. Scenes set in Sherwood Forest were filmed at various locations in England. The Outlaws' encampment was filmed at Burnham Beaches in Buckinghamshire, south of the real Sherwood Forest in Nottinghamshire. 9. The fight scene between Robin and Little John was at Aysgarth Falls in North Yorkshire, and Marion sees Robin bathing at Hardraw Force, also in North Yorkshire. 13. Sycamore Gap on Hadrian's Wall in Northumberland was used for the scene when Robin first confronts the sheriff's men. 14. Chalk Cliffs at Seven Sisters, Sussex were used as the locale for Robin's return to England from the Crusades. 15. Interior scenes were completed at Shepperton Studios in Surrey. 13. Post-production. furious at the studio's repeated demands for yet another heavy editing session just to boost Costner's presence and prevent Rickman's performance from stealing the movie, and at the studio locking his own editor out of the cutting room, Reynolds walked out of the project weeks before theatrical debut. He did not attend the screening. 9. Extended cut. A 155-minute extended cut of the film was released on home media in 2009. It details the conspirators' plot to steal the throne from King Richard, and further explores the relationship between the sheriff and Mortia. In one scene, Mortia explains that she killed the true George Nottingham as a baby and replaced him with her own infant son, revealing that she is in fact the sheriff's real mother. Mortia instructs Nottingham to remove the tongue of John Tordoff's scribe, forcing him to communicate via chalkboard in subsequent scenes. Nottingham only pretends he removed the tongue, and the scribe later provides spoken directions to Robin and Azim as they rescue Marion. 16. Music. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves original soundtrack. Soundtrack album by Michael Kamen. Released July 2, 1991. Length 60 hours 22 minutes original, 134 hours 39 minutes, 2017 expansion, 220 hours 46 minutes, 2020 expansion. Label Morgan Creek Productions original, Intrada Records, expansions. The original music score was composed, orchestrated and conducted by Michael Kamen. An excerpt from the main title music was subsequently used as the logo music for Morgan Creek, 17, and has been used by Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment in trailer introductions on DVD and Blu-ray. 18. In 2017, the specialty film music label Intrada Records released a 2-disc CD album containing the complete score and alternates, though not the songs from Bryan Adams and Jeff Lynne. 19. In 2020, Intrada issued a 4-disc album, with the film score on the first 2 CDs. CD 3 has alternate takes and additional music, including the Morgan Creek Productions fanfare which was derived from this score. CD 4 features the assemblies used on the 1991 soundtrack album. The songs are again absent. 20. No. Title length. 1. Overture, A Prisoner of the Crusades 827. 2. Sir Guy of Gisborne, The Escape to Sherwood 727. 3. Little John, The Band in the Forest 452. 4. The Sheriff and His Witch 603. 5. Maid Marian 257. 6. Training, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves 515. 7. Marion at the Waterfall 534. 8. The Abduction, The Final Battle at the Gallows 953. 9. Everything I Do It For You, sung by Bryan Adams, 633. 10. Wild Times, sung by Jeff Lynne, 312. Release. Classification. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was submitted for classification from the British Board of Film Classification, which required 14 seconds to be cut from the film to obtain a PG rating. 2. Home media. The original theatrical cut of the film was released on VHS in the US on May 13, 1992, 21, and on DVD on September 30, 1997. 22. A 2-disc special edition DVD was released in the US on June 10, 2003, 23, containing a 155-minute-long extended version of the film. This alternate cut of the film was released on Blu-ray in the US on May 26, 2009. Reception. Box office. The film grossed $25 million in its opening weekend and $18.3 million in its second. It eventually earned $390,493,908 at the global box office, making it the second highest grossing film of 1991, immediately behind Terminator 2, Judgment Day. It had the second best opening to date for a non-sequel. 24, 25, 26, 27. Critical response. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 52% based on 56 reviews, with an average rating of 5.70. The critical consensus reads, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves brings a wonderfully villainous Alan Rickman to this oft-adapted tale, but he's robbed by big-budget bombast and a muddled screenplay. 28. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 51 out of 100, based on 25 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 29. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale. 30. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert praised the performances of Freeman and Rickman, but ultimately decried the film as a whole, giving it 2 stars and stating, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a murky, unfocused, violent, and depressing version of the classic story. The most depressing thing about the movie is that children will attend it expecting to have a good time. 31. The New York Times gave the film a negative review, with Vincent Canby writing that the movie is a mess, a big, long, joyless reconstruction of the Robin Hood legend that comes out firmly for civil rights, feminism, religious freedom, and economic opportunity for all. 32. The Los Angeles Times also found the movie unsatisfactory. 33. Criticizing Costner for not attempting an English accent. 34. Mocking Robin's afternoon walk from the White Cliffs to Nottingham via Hadrian's Wall, which is actually 560 miles. 35. Deason Thompson, writing for the Washington Post, gave a more positive review. Fair damsels and noble sirs, you must free yourselves of these wearisome observations. This is a state-of-the-art retelling of a classic. 36. Owen Gleiberman, of Entertainment Weekly also gave a positive review. As a piece of escapism, this deluxe, action-heavy, 2-hour and 21-minute Robin Hood gets the job done. 37. Lorna Becker, writing in The Guardian, calls Rickman sheriff, for which he won a BAFTA, a genuinely great performance. 38. Prince of Thieves was nominated for 2 Golden Raspberry Awards. Kevin Costner won the Worst Actor award for his performance as Robin Hood, and Christian Slater received a nomination for Worst Supporting Actor for his performances in this film and in Mobsters, but lost to Dan Aykroyd for Nothing But Trouble. 39. In 2005, the American Film Institute nominated this film for AFI's 100 Years of Film Scores. 40. Other media. 2 tie-in video games called Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves were released in 1991 for the Nintendo Entertainment System and Game Boy. Developed by Sculptured Software Incorporated and Bit Studios, respectively, and published by Virgin Games Incorporated. They are the cover feature for the July 1991 issue of Nintendo Power magazine. 41. Kenner released a toy line consisting of action figures and playsets. All but one of the figures were derived by slight modifications to Kenner's well-known Superpowers line, and Friar Tuck, the vehicles, and playsets were modified from Star Wars, Return of the Jedi toys. 42.